Coming up on NonStop Local at 4, measles continues to cause concern in the community. One of the largest school districts in Washington is tackling possible exposures. Plus, the city of Seattle going after a gun maker and store selling a device that turns handguns into fully automatics. And later on, it's a crime of prehistoric proportion. How a man tracked down stolen display items. Coming up. Thanks for joining us here on NonStop Local at 4. We are tracking new evacuation levels for south of the Crown Creek fire that's burning in Stevens County. Flames have now consumed more than 57,000 acres at last check. Almost 400 firefighters are on site, still 0% contained. That's 5,700 acres, rather, I should say. In the meantime, take a look at this Stevens County Emergency Management Evacuation Map. Level 1, 2, and 3 evacuations have been expanded for people living south of this fire. All levels to the north of the fire have remained the same. And all that to say, we are in a weather alert, tracking some high heat and now some yucky air quality. Getting a live look over downtown Spokane right now. Leslie, driving home last night, bringing in Chief Forecaster Leslie Lowe. Driving home last night, it was like it was very warm in the afternoon before the show. I went out on a walk, but driving home, it was so smoky out.
It was smoky.
We've got this, air quality.
Air quality has been a concern. It's not been as big of a concern this summer as we've seen in summers past, so that's good news, but we do need to talk about it. So let's get a look at our weather forecast. You can see that smoke. It's only going to get more dense as we head through this evening, so keep that in mind, especially if you're one who opens up those windows at night to cool down the house. If you've got any kind of asthma, breathing concerns, allergies, that'll be a little bit of an issue. All areas shaded in yellow are under moderate air quality right now. Areas, those little pockets of red and purple, that's not so good for our friends up towards Colville. That is unhealthy and then hazardous air quality currently, and then down towards parts of central Idaho, you can see that little pocket there of unhealthy for sensitive groups or just flat out unhealthy. So again, air quality a concern. We've got smoke from surrounding wildfires. That smoke is again pushing in because of those winds coming in from the north and from the east of us. Wind speed's not too bad for today. Relative humidity levels, though, they're down as they should be. 15% is what we're looking at in Spokane, about 18%. Over towards Coeur d'Alene, 21%. Our current relative humidity for Moses Lake. We do have some red flag warnings there in place up across parts of the Cascade Valleys over towards the northern valleys and then into the Cascades. Those will be in place in the Cascades through tonight and not set to expire across those northern mountains until we get into tomorrow evening. Highs right now, temperature sitting at 97 degrees in Spokane. The heat is the other big player that we're seeing out there, 98 in Coeur d'Alene. We've got mid to upper 90s between Ritzville and Moses Lake, but we are in the triple digits for Lewiston, Orofino up towards Brewster at 104 and 101 right now in Winthrop. There's those advisories and warnings. They will be in place through tomorrow night as well. It's going to be a little bit uncomfortable for some overnight tonight with those overnight lows in the upper 60s and 70s. Around Spokane and Coeur d'Alene will be in the low to mid 60s. Corey, when I see you back here in a few minutes, we'll get a look at your 7-day forecast. There is a cool down and actually some rain in the forecast ahead.
All right, Leslie, thank you very much. We do have this just in. The Kendall Yards night market has been canceled tonight due to some higher temperatures. Earlier in August, the market was canceled due to high winds. You still have 2 more night market dates if you want to enjoy vendors before the end of the night market season. Some new information tonight. The measles continue to be a concern in Spokane County after the Department of Health confirmed a case in a Spokane infant. Now that school is back in session, the big question is what happens if someone in school gets the measles. Spokane Public Schools policy states that students who are not vaccinated against measles will need to stay home for at least 21 calendar days if exposed. That is in line with state law and best health practices. Spokane Regional Health District says you are contagious after you're exposed, but won't develop symptoms for 10 to 14 days. Once you are symptomatic, it takes several more days until you develop the rash, and you are contagious for 5 more days. When school-age kids are affected, you're encouraged to keep children at home to avoid additional exposure. And coming up tonight at around 6:30, we'll have more on SPS's measles policy and how vaccination rates are trending in Spokane County. Continuing coverage now, declining rates of childhood vaccines is a trend across the United States. NonStop Local's Bradley Warren has more on a move by the state of Florida, which is ending all vaccine mandates. Bradley?
Yeah, hey Corey, good afternoon. Well, Governor DeSantis says the State Department of Health can end vaccine mandates that were not written into Florida state law. According to multiple reports, the Surgeon General of the state made the announcement but did not speak to state lawmakers about the changes. In Florida, the state requires children entering schools to be vaccinated against 4 different types of illnesses. Now, tomorrow in Washington, D.C., as we take a live look, we can expect more on this conversation, specifically about vaccines, to take center stage. As in the Senate Finance Committee, there will be the opportunity for lawmakers to question Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Senator Crapo from Idaho and Senator Cantwell from Washington both sit on the committee and are expected to bring questions forward for the secretary. The hearing comes on the heels of multiple measles cases popping up in North Idaho and, of course, in Spokane. Secretary Kennedy has reversed course on vaccine policies, with measles being one that he's historically been dodgy on. Corey?
Thank you very much, Bradley. And catch all the news of the day on the Pulse, 5-minute news segments every hour with all the breaking news you need through our website, nonstoplocal.com, or the NonStop Local app. Right now, the city of Seattle attorney Ann Davison is suing gunmaker Glock over so-called switches that modify handguns to allow fully automatic gunfire. The suit claims Glock and local retailers carrying the devices are putting profits over people.
Seattle City Attorney Ann Davison is taking aim at Glock, a gun manufacturer that calls itself the leading global manufacturer of pistols, on its website.
They are contributing to the public nuisance. This is under a state statute that was enacted in 2023, where it creates a public nuisance.
In a newly filed lawsuit, Davison says that modified Glocks have been used in dozens of crimes in the Seattle area, altered by criminals in order to rapid fire, using Glock switches that are made from metal or plastic and are roughly the size of a dime.
Sadly, the switches are very prevalent. Many can be produced with just a 3D printer.
The lawsuit reads, before conversion, a Glock fires 1 bullet for each pull of the trigger. In contrast, the converted weapon fires at rates of up to 1,200 rounds per minute.
Other handgun makers do different designs in their firearms, and it's very difficult and complicated to change the mechanics of it to insert this switch.
In a recent local case, Bellevue police stated in court documents that they found this illegally modified Glock in robbery suspect Mario Earl Jr.'s backpack. He was arrested after being accused of robbing a jewelry store in Bellevue with the help of a man who was suspected in a home invasion robbery case involving the singer Macklemore's home.
It's almost a status symbol to have a Glock and to have a switch with it, because in about 3 seconds, 2 or 3 seconds, they can fire 30 shots.
The lawsuit also names Bullseye Indoor Range LLC, Pantel Tactical, and Rainier Arms LLC.
Other handgun makers do different designs in their firearms, and it's very difficult and complicated to change the mechanics of it to insert this switch.
Meantime, Dave, who writes for gunmag.com, says he's looking over the lawsuit.
They want to hold Glock responsible for manufacturing a perfectly legal product that has been illegally modified by a third party over which they have no control.
He says similar lawsuits have previously been filed in other states and is unsure how this will play out in court.
Can't see how Glock could be held responsible for that.
Right now, the city of Prosser launching a community-wide survey, and they want your input on it. Community members of all ages are invited to share their thoughts to guide future planning and decision-making within the city. If you're a business owner, resident, or a kid under the age of 18, they want to hear from you on city services, priorities, and future initiatives. The survey is anonymous unless you share your name, and it must be submitted by September 28th. Still to come here on NonStop Local at 4, sports fans are betting big and spending big when it comes to their favorite teams. Just how much is being spent, the bets that are being placed. Plus, still smoky across the inland northwest. Weather forecaster Leslie Lowe. She has your full weather forecast coming up in just 90 seconds. Stick around.